to the books of math.
Alright, so today we're going to talk about subtracting polynomials. We just finished adding polynomials, so subtracting polynomials is very similar. Again, piece of paper and some colored pencils. Math facts are important. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division should be memorized. This is not something where I would say to use a calculator, so we're going to do it all by hand. If you notice, we have a group of parentheses here, a group of parentheses here. They're subtracting. You have to look at the subtraction symbol kind of like distributive property. This is not just a subtraction symbol. Technically, it's a -1. So what we're going to do is we're going to distribute that negative to everything inside the parentheses. So the 9 will be multiplied by a -1. The +4 will be multiplied by a -1. A -3 will be multiplied by a -1. And a +2 will be multiplied by a -1. So at this point, I would have you rewrite everything. A +9 times a -1 is a -9x to the 4th. A -1 times a +4 is a -4x to the 3rd. A -1 times a -3 would be a +3x squared. And a -1 times a +2 is going to be a -2. And what that does is it lets you completely rewrite the problem. So now that I rewrote it, I can go ahead and line things up that are the same like we did with adding polynomials. So I'm going to grab my first colored pencil. X to the 4th is a match with x to the 4th. Now the ones on the left get written on the top. So I have 18x to the 4th. But not adding this time, a -9x to the 4th. I'm going to go ahead and pick up a different colored pencil. I have 3x to the 3rd. The match over here is now 4x to the 3rd. So I have 3x to the 3rd minus 4x to the 3rd. I'm going to grab a different colored pencil. I have -2x squared. The match over here is 3x squared. This one again goes on top. The one on the right would go on the bottom. I have a x by itself, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it by itself because there's not an x over there. So that x will stay by himself. And then I have a -2, which is a constant over here. It's a constant because it's a number without a variable, and that would stay by itself as well. And then we would just do everything straight down, just like we did with adding polynomials. So 18 minus 9 would be 9x to the 4th. 3 minus 4, I gain 3 yards in football, but then I lose 4, and you have a little number subtracting a big, that's automatically going to make it a negative. So that gives us a -1x to the 3rd. In this instance, we lost 2 yards, but we gained 3. So that would actually be a +1x squared. This x doesn't go with anything, and that makes it automatically a positive. So we're going to leave it as a +x. And then that constant -2 is going to stay a -2. Now on a test, it wouldn't be written like this because they wouldn't have the 1. So we're going to rewrite it the way we would see it on a test. We would have 9x to the 4th. Minus x to the 3rd plus x to the 2nd plus x minus 2. And we know that this is 1x, so therefore we don't need that 1x. All right, guys, good luck. I hope that helped. Thanks.